So will it be tolls on trucks as the governor's proposing, or no tolls at all? Joining me now to talk about that is Senate Majority Leader Bob Duff. Senator Duff is from Norwalk, was elected Senate Majority Leader in 2019 for the third time. He chairs both the Executive and Legislative Committee and is the Vice Chair of the Legislative Management. Senator Duff, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us on Face the Facts this morning. How you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Okay, the transportation special session gets pushed to the new year. How far apart do you think the plans are between the Democratic plan that the governor has and the Republicans?
Well, I think right now what we'll see is we'll see an agreement with the governor, Democratic leaders, that'll put forward a transportation plan that'll be the largest transportation plan in a generation. That will toll trucks only. We have closed the door on car-only tolls. That will put about a $20 billion investment into our highways, into our trains, into our infrastructure. That will help grow the economy at the same time, adding tens of thousands of jobs across the state of Connecticut.
When we talk about truck-only tolls, the people on the other side of the aisle, Senator Fasano, say, look, our electorate doesn't trust the people in Hartford. How do we know? How can we feel safe that it's only going to be trucks and things are not going to change down the road to add cars?
Right. Well, we could put a number of covenants into the agreements that make sure it's trucks only. But let's also be very clear that between 5,000 and 10,000 cars equal one 18-wheeler trucker that's fully loaded. So trucks are doing a ton of damage to our highways. So you figure one tractor trailer equals 5,000 or 10,000 cars, which is why it makes sense to do trucks only. That will help raise hundreds of millions of dollars to pay for needed infrastructure that'll help grow our economy, that'll help bring jobs to the state of Connecticut, and not just put the cost and the burden on the residents of the state of Connecticut.
What are your thoughts on the Republican plan where they decide, look, we're not going to do tolls, let's take money from the rainy day fund and go that route?
I'm not a fan of that. I certainly appreciate the fact that they have put forward a proposal on transportation. But I think when you talk to people across the state of Connecticut and they ask you, or they say, should we be raiding the rainy day fund? Most people say, no, you should keep that for a rainy day. You should continue to build that up. We have it built up now at the highest level we've ever had. And frankly, once we get over the $3 billion mark, which we're very, very close to, we're going to be paying down long-term pension obligations. So I think let's have those trucks that are coming into state from out of state that are doing the damage of 5,000 to 10,000 cars. Let's have them be part of the solution. Let's have them pay for it. Let's make sure that we have a good long-term transportation plan that grows this economy.
There have been comments and thoughts about other things to provide new revenue to the state of Connecticut. Sports gambling has been on the table. Recreational marijuana has been on the table. Senator Looney said, look, it's time to explore these things. How do you feel about that? Yeah,
I mean, we should be exploring recreational marijuana, absolutely, but doing it in a way that makes sense, doing it in a way that is not just for money, but doing it in good policy. I mean, if we're going to have other states around us having legalized marijuana, people can get it. We live in a small state. Let's control our own destiny. As far as sports gaming and others go, we're leaving money on the table right now. We need to make an agreement with the tribes that control some of this because of the fact of the legal compacts that we've had since the 1990s. But we're leaving a lot of money on the table because we don't have an agreement right now.
Even though it's relatively new in other states, there is data available now. There's data available about recreational marijuana in Colorado. There's data available about sports gaming in Rhode Island. Can we do studies to see if it's even worth the revenue to come to our state?
Well, again, marijuana should not be done for the revenue. It should be done for the policy, again, because other states around us are legalizing, and it's easy for people to go to Massachusetts or other places to get marijuana. There would be a revenue impact on sports betting, sports gambling. There are other states, and people are wagering. They're just not paying the taxes, or they're not paying the fees. So for us to leave 10, 20, 30, even more, tens of millions of dollars on the table is not responsible. We should be looking for those ways rather than looking in other ways.
And the governor has opened that conversation again with the state's tribal casinos.
Yeah, I think that can all come together quickly. I think we can, once we move forward on our transportation bill and our bonding bill, I think that you'll see sports betting and others move forward, and we can turn those pages and move our state forward.
I've recently interviewed and talked with people, major city mayors, talked to the Council on Small Towns. They're anxious to know what kind of state funding they're going to get.
Right.
Why was the bonding section of the special session pushed after the new year? And they're anxious to say, look, we need money for plowing, we need money for road repair, we need money for...
Yeah, and I agree with that. But I think that you'll see probably in the second or third week of January where we'll be coming back into tying all those things together. The governor has certainly said that he is going to be releasing those funds. I know as legislators we're all hearing the same thing. We want to make sure that those funds are released. We'll get it done. They'll have their money, and we want to continue to be partners with our local communities.
Last question. Do we get a transportation bill before the session? The regular session starts in February, do you think?
Right. So the curse of any leader is by making predictions. And I hate to make predictions, but I feel very confident in the fact that the answer to that is yes.
Senator Bob Duff,
Thanks
for your time. Thanks for joining us on
pleasure.
Face to Face.